Hi there, welcome back to Being Your Ray. This one is a journal entry, so let's get straight into it. No amount of money, no amount of love from a person, no amount of power, no amount of watching a TV series, no amount of Instagram can fill the void of happiness in you. And yet, that void is the very thing that will bring you a lifetime of realizations and change. There comes a time in your life when this void becomes unavoidable and unbearable. You might try to conceal it, stacking it up with your logic, money, or a million other distractions. But the moment you sit with yourself, away from all those mind numbing things, you feel this restlessness. Restlessness of not being able to feel happiness when you're not occupied with something. The one that comes creeping to you at night, forcing you to think if you're actually living your life or someone else's. And this play goes on for a while. It could be months, years, decades, or even lives till you start to take this void seriously. Being in a void feels like the worst thing that can happen to someone. Depression, loneliness, lack of interest in the day to day, and whatnot. It feels like a dead end. And that's because you've spent so much time avoiding yourself, your happiness, and your soul. And even though this phase feels like a lot and you can't pick yourself up, I promise you that it's just the start of a big change. Now that you're aware that nothing on the outside is helping to fill this void and no playbook is directing you towards happiness, your hunger to seek more starts. You need to understand the futility of your stupid desires to know how precious happiness on a soul level is and why you need it so badly. That's when you create time and space for the most important thing in your life, your own happiness. Pure, unadulterated, unaffected by the world. One that nourishes your life instead of draining you completely. I can only talk about all this as I've seen it in my own life and can testify to the fact that human desperation or hunger has way more power than all the distractions or downs that we go through. We are all going to feel it at some point, and when you find yourself at the absolute rock bottom, know that this phase will provide you with immense power to demand more out of yourself. That will be the start of a new story, the one you always wanted to write and live. I hope you get to live that story. All right, this one's a very personal one. I definitely have had two rock bottom moments in my life so far. And every time that has happened, I my desperation has been so bad that I've made sure I don't want to dwell into this thing anymore. And of course, that comes after like months of being fed up by myself or feeling like I can't deal with myself anymore and something has to change. And that's when like the real willpower comes in, the real क्या बोलते हैं उसको resolute self comes in. तो वही है, तब तक it's like you're living a bit thanda. But when something crazy happens, and maybe it's like a sign from God to wake you up, you will see a very different version of yourself come to surface. And that's the story I wish to hear more of, the one that forces you to get out of the rut that you have been facing. I don't want to talk much about what happens in that position because you know how it feels. And I'm pretty sure everyone has gone through that part of their life. I just want to focus on what happens after, and the kind of changes you see in yourself are genuinely something you would have never imagined. So I want to provide more hope in that aspect कि वो जो चेंज आने वाला है, it's right around the corner. And if you take it seriously, if you look at the good parts of it, you will notice a very beautiful and transformed version of yourself that is, yeah, that is going to thrive. It's going to going to define yourself. Like literally, like the most defining moment of your life is going to be this. So yeah, I just want you to shift your focus on that. And even if it feels like a far-fetched thing, I just want you to know that change is around the corner. And this might be like the biggest thing that happens to you in the best way possible. So, yeah, I think that's it for today. I think this is a relatively shorter audio. So, in case you're listening this, I would love to know about your defining moments and how it has shaped you. It's like one of my favorite questions to know someone better. And I love seeing people become a new version of themselves when something hits them, and then they take it upon themselves to change everything around them. So yeah, it's a fascinating thing. So yeah, on that note, if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.